Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Be Good Leadership. I am Ronnie Caldwell, and as always, we're talking about all things leadership in education and really just about being good for the people you lead. So today, I want to talk. I had a fan reach out to me, and they said, I talk about giving people praise. I talk about third party praise. I've talked about giving people recognition. And they said, but so much of it comes off as fake from my administrators. So many times when I feel like they're giving us compliments or whatever, things just come off as fake, passive aggressive, and it just doesn't land. And I've heard this so many times before, and I've actually seen it. So today, what I want to talk to you about is how do you celebrate others without it feeling fake? How do you celebrate and recognize students? How do you celebrate people around you, employees, and everything else without it feeling fake? And I think some of the easiest stuff for me to do is, first of all, start with some of the things that people do that come off as fake. So the first thing I want to say is stop smiling with your eyes wide open. We've seen this before. When some of you says, "Hello, how are you? Oh God, so great to see you. Oh my God, that was really, I really loved it. I love it. Thank you for being here." The problem with that, you see, I just did that, and you guys were like, "Wow, that's fake," and everything. And the reason for it is actually physiological. You can't have a real smile with your eyes wide open. When you actually laugh, when you actually smile, when something's actually funny, your eyes squint. This is why all of you have laughed so hard that you cry sometimes, because really it's the muscles around your eyes that start to flex and then tears start to come out. Because when we generally are happy, when we generally are happy to see someone, we never keep our eyes wide open and smile at the same time. And I see it so often in administrators. I see it so often in conferences. It's a habit of non administrators. I've seen it in teachers, everything else is trying really hard to seem happy to see someone and coming off as fake. So that's one. That's a very simple one there. The one that's even worse is when we do, when we smile while also jabbing someone. We smile while also making kind of a sharp comment at someone that's a critique. For instance, we come to a meeting and people haven't read, um, let's say there was a document that needed to be read for everyone to be well prepared for the meeting. And then people get into the meeting and the boss sees that people, maybe aren't ready, everything else. And they're like, God, it would have been so good. I mean, if we had been ready for the meeting, I mean, that would have been better. But I sent the email like a week ago. It's okay. It's okay. Why are you smiling through that? Everyone knows it's not okay. Everyone knows you're calling them out. Versus, okay, and they might say, okay, Ronnie, well, what to do instead, right? What to do instead is, uh, if I've been in that exact scenario, and then I just respond and say, well, hey, of course, this meeting won't be as valuable if we're not all prepared for it. And I know I sent an email a week ago, but things can get lost in email. You guys get busy. What's a more effective way for me to make sure that like we've read when we get here, just so that we spend our time as valuable as possible? I mean, would it be better for us all to wait till we get here and then us read it together and then discuss it together, or would reminders work? What have you? What do you guys think? A couple of things I've done there. There's no fake smile there. I am being direct about, hey, why it would be valuable for everyone to have read before they get to the meeting, and that I don't want to waste anybody's time. I told them, I said, I did send it, a week ago, but I do know that a email from a week ago, it gets lost in the thread of things. People can be working, people might forget something. I didn't send a reminder, so I admitted maybe I should have sent a reminder. But then I'm also asking, well, what do you guys think though? Like, you're busy, I get that, but we need to be ready for these meetings. And I offered a suggestion, a different one. Would it be better for us to sit here and read it? I mean, what do you guys think? So I'm also honoring them as professionals to say, help me help you. All of this without being a jerk, without jabbing at anybody in kind of a passive aggressive way, without fake smiling. right? I think when we do this, it's one of the ways that we make things feel fake, and we're not really celebrating anybody when we do that, right? And so I think we should stay away from it. And, I think that if you genuinely are happy to see people, it'll come off as genuine. And it doesn't always need to be a big smile and everything else. It can just be, hey, good to see you. I'm glad you're here, right? You might have joke, you might be able to joke with people. You might find something funny. But usually I find that when you're truly observing and when you've actually, your people, you do naturally just get happy to see them show up, right? When there's a comfort level in it and there's a psychological safety in it, people are more likely to joke around. They like to come into places with ease. You're more likely to be at ease when you're coming into meetings and these kinds of things. And so you don't really need to go overboard with the fake smiles or anything like that. The same thing applies in the classroom. So there's some things to stop doing. And I actually gave you a little extra there. There's a suggestion instead. Another way to celebrate without feeling fake is to celebrate effort, not just outcomes. If we're constantly celebrating outcomes, then what people think is, well, that's all that matters. And you don't really care about us. You don't really care about the work that goes into it. Whereas I think that it's important to celebrate effort toward specific outcomes or specific, that basically whatever it is that we want to accomplish, I want to also celebrate those actions that are actually leading us in that direction. Because then people know, they know that hopefully you've made it clear where we're trying to go, what we want to accomplish. And so therefore, if you are celebrating effort that has nothing to do with going in that direction, sometimes it can come off as, well, maybe disingenuous or what have you. But if you're literally celebrating the efforts that are leading in the right direction, you're celebrating the people who are actually working hard, which people want to recognize. And when they see that, they oftentimes want to put forth more work in that. You're being genuine in that actually what's going on. And you're also keeping the focus on the mission, on what we're trying to accomplish together as a team, right? So it doesn't, to try to pull off just general celebration without tying it to specific actions that are also tied to what we know our overall goal is and what's the most important thing that we're trying to accomplish. It gives a sense of, well, this is genuine celebration. This leader cares about what we actually do and cares about the important stuff, right? And I said specific action. So when you celebrate people, you want to celebrate specifics. And I've talked about stories. You can use stories to celebrate specific actions that people are doing, because the more specific you get, also the more genuine you become, because you're noticing that particular action, what that person did, what that person said, who that person is, rather than just, you're all great and I love you. We love all of you. I mean, do you? You know, not to say that, you don't want to say that and people say it and it doesn't mean anything. And in the United States, I mean, we're the country of how are you doing, which usually just means hi. And versus like, please just stop and tell me everything or how you're doing. So I get some of these things, people might be like, well, Ronnie, that's one of my go-tos. I would just say that if you're going to celebrate people, be clear about what you want to celebrate them for, and get to know your people so that when you're celebrating them, you're celebrating things that matter and feel real to them, right? And just to remember that along with that, authentic recognition is fuel. Authentic recognition, recognizing people for stuff they know is important, stuff they know is tied to the mission, and stuff that they know you've actually observed or have actually taken the time to get to know them, to recognize them about, it's fuel. It's motivation. Versus fake recognition it hurts morale, right? Fake recognition, behind the wide eyes and the smile, oftentimes create a feeling of a lack of safety, right? And especially when that recognition too sometimes is couched as, I'm recognizing this as opposed to this. The tone in which you do it. It was great to see these people who actually finished the unit. Thank you so much. That's recognition, but what it actually is you're actually calling out in a veiled attempt the people who you're obviously still mad at or annoyed with that didn't. And I've talked about in videos before, if you actually want to address that, you address that with those individuals. You don't bring that into a staff meeting and try to address that in a passive aggressive way with your whole group. That hurts morale. That's not good leadership. So to celebrate without feeling fake is genuinely smile. When you really want to smile, genuinely smile. Get to know your people so that actually you are genuinely happy to see them. Don't couch any kind of jab or critique with a fake smile and think that that makes it better. It doesn't. It makes it worse. And get to know your people so you can actually give them authentic recognition. Tell stories about people who are doing great work and great work that actually promotes the mission and the culture that you want to see. That's how you celebrate others in a real way, and you do so without coming off as fake. I hope that helps. As always, the advice is free and you don't have to take it. Be good.